Hello and welcome back to Always Right, the podcast with me, your host, Charlie Wright. Today I'm here with Sruti.
Hey,
What's going on? How's life? What's
I'm
the
back.
general? Yeah, you're back again. I was
I'm back
watching
on board.
I was watching our old podcast just to not repeat the same topics.
You know what, it's so funny because one of my friends messaged me, um, and she was like, "I've watched all the episodes that you were in on Charlie's podcast." I was
Wow,
like,
I love.
"Thanks." Mm.
My
I'm
God.
bringing the
Okay,
viewers, Chad.
speaking of viewers, I just have to say, did you see my Instagram story the other day? I've been looking at my analytics and which I know I can look at, but I never really do. And then I looked the other day and I'm just like, all these people in all these different countries listen to this show. I'm just like,
It's insane.
why?
Aren't you just like, "Hello world"?
And but it's also I want to I can't contact these viewers. I know that sounds so stupid. Obviously I can't, but it's just I want to be like, thank you. So everyone listening, thank you. I appreciate it. And especially to the person in Columbus, Ohio, who has listened to every single episode twice.
Wow,
I don't know why you have, but thank you.
such a loyal listener.
I know, isn't that insane?
Whoever you are, leave a comment down below in the YouTube channel.
Literally, or comment on my Instagram or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, love that for me. But anyway,
Love that for you.
I know, what's happening with you? What's new? How's the vibe? What's, just life?
The vibe is everyone has Omicron.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The vibe is I've kind of been in my own little self-isolation this January because for all you international listeners,
Yes.
Melbourne has been rife with cis Omicron. She's been everywhere.
She's been running around town.
She's been right here in my home. My sister got COVID a few weeks ago.
Wait, so did
we
mine.
had a whole system going. Really?
Yeah, but she
Which
doesn't live
one?
with me. Georgie, luckily, she lives
Georgie.
alone, luckily. So, but wow, your sister had it with you. What did you do?
Well, my mum's room has it's like the ensuite, and it's got a little balcony.
Mhm.
So and we can access the balcony through our fourth study / bedroom.
Right.
So we literally just put my sister in my mum's room, literally stoppered the door so no airflow could come out, and we were literally just delivering her food through the balcony. We had the system down pat. It was just so good. And obviously we weren't close contacts because my sister actually got it and then she went away for a week. So her and all of her friends were COVID positive in this house in Delsford. And they were all showing symptoms about halfway through their trip. And then she came home and she tested positive on a rat. And then her isolation period obviously starts when you test positive. So she was in isolation for close to 2 weeks. So
wow,
stamped it out. But yeah, I literally have not really been doing much because every time I plan something, someone's got COVID. So
I know, that's the struggle, isn't it? I just am I don't know. I am the same. I haven't really been doing much. But then it's I'm so bored. I need to leave the house. I need to do something. But yeah, Georgie had it. And where did she went, oh, the whole drama. I think this is for New Year's. She went away somewhere in Apollo Bay, whatever, in this van that she has, and the van broke down in this tiny little town in Apollo Bay. So on the day after New Year's Day, I had to drive and pick her up. And then as we were driving home, she was like, oh, like I feel sick. And I was like, oh God, here we go. So then I take her, because she lives alone, I take her to her house, and then I come back here and I'm like self-isolating anyway, before she's even positive. And then got her a rapid test and she was positive on it. And then I was negative, but I still kind of like self-isolated anyway. And then I just kept testing, and like I was negative and she was still positive. And she luckily, and she was meant to move out of her house, like as she got it. So she had to extend the lease for like another month. And yeah, she didn't really have any symptoms though. Did your sister?
Not really. Like she had like a sore throat, cough, but she's now got COVID fatigue.
Really?
Like a month after COVID, she did some reading on it, but she's been so tired. Did I tell you about my whole Sydney drama?
No, please do.
Over Christmas?
No.
It was just COVID. It's COVID related.
Oh.
My family and I, we went to Sydney. We left on Christmas Eve to go to Sydney and to obviously spend time with family over there. And on Boxing Day, in the evening, we were meant to come back on the 29th, but because COVID was like really, really, really bad in Sydney, I don't know if you remember, like,
yeah, I do,
test times and all that kind of stuff. We changed our flight to come home on the 26th evening. So we were literally there for 2 nights, like just really quick trip. Because obviously our family were going to come here, like they're coming at the end of this month. So we were like, oh, it's fine, you know, we don't have to be here for too long. Anyway, we're there, we're about to go to the airport, and I get a text from Vic, Department of Health, saying that I was at a location on the 22nd, and there was a COVID positive case at this location, and I had to go and get a PCR and self-isolate until the negative result.
Oh my God.
Now, I was at a cafe with Nicole for her birthday, and the cafe's got like a deli part in the front. So I was like, and we were sitting in the courtyard. I was like, this COVID positive case could have been anywhere. And now I have to self-isolate, and I'm in fucking Sydney. So my mum and my sister go home, like they fly home.
Oh my God, what the hell?
And I changed my flight. I changed my flight to the 30th. I think that was a Thursday. Changed my flight to the 30th. And then that very night, I hop in a car with one of my family friends to go and try and find a testing site. Go to 2, they're both closed. God. And the third one, I call the hotline and I'm like, listen, we've been driving around to these places, they're all shut. Can you give us one that's actually open? She's like, oh yeah, this one's open, go to that one. We go there, shut. And then we find out the next day that they're operating on Christmas hours and they didn't put them anywhere. Like they hadn't changed anything. The next morning, we get in the car at like, honestly, it was like 6:30. Drive to the site, we're in line and we're already 3 kilometers away from the testing site in line.
What?
We get 1 kilometer away and they turn us away. At 9:30 in the morning, they turned us away. And they were like, there's 1 kilometer away, but you're not going to get to the front of the site before they close. And we were like, what time are they closing? And they were like, they're going to close at 11:30. I was like, there's 2 hours and it's only 1 more kilometer. You're not going to let us through. So anyway, we go back to where we were staying, get all of our bags, and we're driving past this testing site and it's just shut. And now it's 9:45. So they've just cleared all the cars and everyone's going, all right, job done, let's go home.
Oh.
It was just so like unorganized and no one was working. And like, I get it. Obviously, like you want to spend time with your families and you're doing obviously they have these jobs that take so much time out of their lives, but they were so unorganized for the absolute outbreak that happened. Anyway, I went to another site and I was really lucky because 2 cars behind me, they shut the site.
Oh my God.
I finally got tested in the morning on the 27th at a place. And I'm just chilling now. I'm like in self-isolation. I'm at my family friend's house. I've done a rat. I'm negative, right? I'm like in my soul, I'm like, I'm so negative. Can I just go home? It comes to the 30th and I've been waiting for 4 days now Still haven't got my result. I then called the clinic that took my test, and they literally say to me, we haven't even assessed the tests that were taken on the 24th and the 25th. And it was the 30th. So like everything was so delayed.
Oh my God.
It was just insane. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to call Vic, Department of Health.
Yeah.
So I called Vic Department. And they were like, oh, actually, the rule has just changed. So if you're positive in another state, and you could come home to your home state and self-isolate. And I was like, so you're telling me a COVID positive person can hop on a plane?
Yeah, what?
And go home. And they were like, look, they probably will change this rule to make it clearer, but they haven't yet.
Oh.
And I was like, well, I'm just waiting for a test. So can I go home and self-isolate and wait for the test there? And they were like, yeah. So I was like, why the fuck have I been here for 4 days when I could have just gone home?
But was that your like a misunderstanding of what happened, or like
no, because that rule had just come in.
Oh.
The rule came in the night before.
Right.
And then when I get back to Melbourne, then they changed the whole rule again, where you don't need to even get a PCR if you've been to a place and there's a COVID positive person. So the rule changed as I landed, and then I got on the 31st, so like New Year's Eve, I get the text being like, you're negative, and I'm like, I fucking knew that the whole time.
Oh,
what a mess.
God.
I was literally in Sydney for 2 days. I enjoyed myself, had lived my best life, and then 4 days just sitting there.
Wow.
So yeah, for all you international listeners, COVID has been very badly managed in Australia. They had 2 years to prepare while they locked us down, and they did shit.
They really did nothing. I mean, it's obviously it's better now, but still, like, I don't know.
Have we passed the peak? I think we have, right?
I believe we have. I think I read somewhere that it's becoming endemic and not a pandemic anymore, which I don't really know what the difference is, but I think it's less severe.
Okay. Yeah.
But I feel like I always speak about the pandemic on this show, but it's like, that's life, isn't it? I always think like the reason, like I got my booster the other day. Have you had your booster?
Yeah. Same.
And
I died.
Did you have a negative reaction?
Oh my God, Charlie. I had inflamed lymph nodes under my armpit.
Oh my God.
Couldn't lift my arm. And then, so that was, on the day I got it, I was fine, just had a bit of a sore arm. The day after, swollen lymph nodes, fever. Fever went after like Panadol though. But the worst thing was I had such bad muscle pain, especially in my back. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't lie down properly. I couldn't find a position I was comfortable in. I like started sleeping on my bed, then I ended up on the floor. Like it was just, took me like 4 days to get back to normal. The next day my lymph nodes were still there, but they traveled, like they were coming up my neck now as well, because like you've got some here and you've got some here.
Yeah.
I had them in like both places, and I was just like, fuck's sake.
What the hell? Mine was just like muscle pain, really, and I couldn't sleep very well the first night, but apart from that I was fine. But I was going to say that when a pandemic like this happens, like every time I speak to my grandma, she's always just like, oh, I can't believe that I've lived for 80 something years and like this is happening now. And I'm just like, do you think, and I was just like, why are people acting the way that they are about like anti-vaxxers and just like thinking it's a hoax? And it's like, I think that people are acting like this. Well, first of all, it's because they're idiots. They're just unintelligent. But secondly, it's like, I think people have this misconception about like something dangerous, I guess, where it's like when you hear the word pandemic, you imagine people dying in the street. So when it doesn't happen. Well, I mean, actually, it did happen in a few places, but I mean, like in Australia, it's like you're not seeing people dying on the street from it. Therefore, people think like, oh, it's not that dangerous. And it's just like, it's just such a one-dimensional way to look at things, and it makes me so angry.
I think it's selfish.
It is very selfish.
Because you're not, like, of course you're vaccinating to protect yourself, but you're also vaccinating to slow the spread. Like,
absolutely.
You don't want people who are immunocompromised and
no.
old and all of these types of people who are going to be compromised by getting the virus to get the virus. I don't know. I saw this stat the other day about the amount of people who are in hospital. It's like, keep talking. I'm going to get it up actually.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like, I know a few people who are like nurses, and they always like are posting on Instagram, like, if you haven't been sick, and if you haven't been in a hospital in like the past 2 years, you have no conception of what that it's like a war zone. Like, people like don't get it. And like, I think that's the most infuriating part, is that, you know, if you're young and you're healthy, like, and you're vaccinated, yeah, you're probably not going to die from it. But like, you don't think about if you need to go to hospital for it, like if it gets bad, you don't think about the nurses who are literally working 12 hours a day without going to the bathroom, and they're in full PPE. Like, why? The people just don't care about other people. That's what it boils down to. It's just like
it is, because if you did care, you would go and get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
It's just, where is this?
What was it about?
It was just such a good pie chart about people in ICU.
Oh.
People who are taking up ICU beds compared to like the vaccinated population. And it's just like really just puts it into perspective.
Oh, right. Yeah, see, like, it's like I've known a group of people who like only one of them was vaccinated and no one else was vaccinated, and they all got it except for the vaccinated person. And I'm just like, doesn't that just tell you everything you need to know? Yeah, literally.
And people will just find a way to just be like, oh, no, like, you know, like they'll just blame it on something else.
Yeah, they always do. Have you found it? No. Okay. But speaking of this, are you up to date on the whole Joe Rogan Spotify situation?
The whole misinformation thing, and people are like, can you monitor what the hell this guy is saying?
Yes.
Why is he on such a huge deal with Spotify? Let's start there, because I think he's shit.
He is. But I mean, he gets like 11 million views on every podcast he does. So it's like, it's all about money. That's all they care about.
But isn't he sponsored by Spotify?
Yes.
Or is it like, he is, right?
He is, yes.
I think it's just crazy.
It is, but it's interesting, like all these musicians like Neil Young and whoever are like pulling all their music. Yeah, from Spotify. And it's just interesting, like, do you use Spotify?
I'm a Spotify user. Yeah.
So am I. And it's just kind of like, do they expect people to, like the everyday person, to just abandon Spotify because of Joe Rogan?
No. I think what they're trying to say, because I was talking to someone else about this, and I know that now his podcast has warnings on it. Like they've added warnings. I think it's more that either he just stops talking about it because he is spreading so much misinformation. I don't think people are asking to pull the podcast because obviously he brings in a lot for Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be a good business move in general. Like, you want people on the app, and like any artist would also want people on the app. But I think it's more that I think it's like they want to monitor what the hell he's saying.
Well, as they should. Well, it's like Twitter, like Donald Trump, you know, when you lie and
You know
you
how these
just,
Americans are? They
I know.
quote their freaking, what is it called? Their rights.
Oh God, it's all
Like,
about that.
according to the fifth commandment, it's like, shut the fuck up.
But I suppose that's interesting. It reminds me of YouTube. And it's just like, because you know how there's all these terrible people on YouTube. Joe Rogan is one of them. But I mean more like James Charles, like these awful Jeffree Star, these terrible people.
Mm.
It's like, why do people on YouTube, like, it's a different reaction. Like, I feel like people on YouTube aren't like, oh, I'm going to stop. Oh, well, I guess because there is no alternative to YouTube. That's why. I just answered my own question.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. It kind of begs the question of like, you know, how much freedom of speech do you actually have? Because there is an argument to be made. This is his platform. This is his podcast. He can say whatever the hell he likes, you know. And I can definitely see that argument.
Yeah.
You can obviously see that argument, take it for what it is, because honestly, yeah, true. You can say what you like,
Mhm.
but if you're saying stuff that's harmful to people and harmful to your listeners, then yeah, you do have a responsibility.
Absolutely. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences.
Yes, exactly. So I think if YouTube, like you said, like all of those people, like, you know, obviously there are controversial videos on YouTube that do get pulled down or do have warnings. I think this is a similar thing, but I think a reaction on Spotify is different to a reaction on YouTube, because YouTube openly invites comment, whereas Spotify, you're not seeing comment directly on Spotify. You're seeing it on Twitter. You're seeing it on Instagram.
Yeah, that actually is true. But it's just kind of, I feel like social media in general is just kind of, I don't know, people just behave however they want, and it's kind of.
But I'm glad that that's changing as well, because I think you know, people do like to sit behind and just comment, but I think a lot of people are kind of catching on to the thing of like, no, I can actually out this person. I can just openly put, you know, especially with like Instagram DMs and stuff, like how you can get really nasty trolling and bullying and whatever. And I've seen so many people, like influencers and all that, they just don't care anymore. They'll post the screenshot with the person's like photo and
as
name.
They should.
Exactly, because before they would scrub that out.
Yes. Yep.
So I think it's just changed a lot more. Like, I think people are being held accountable for their actions. I mean, this is a different conversation topic to what we were just talking about, Joe Rogan, but yeah, I don't know.
But speaking of Joe Rogan, I just want to read a quote that he said about this situation.
Oh God, okay.
He said,
I don't like him.
It's become what it is today, which is some out of control juggernaut that I barely have control of. Oftentimes, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I sit down and talk to people. I am going to do my best in the future to balance things out. That is literally such a lie.
I think if you're saying, as like the host of a podcast, if you're saying you have no control, how can you come out and say that when you are the one in control?
I don't know. It's like if somebody came on my show and just started talking shit, and I'm like, oh, it's out of my control. It's out of my hands. That's the nature of the show.
Yeah, it's called edit.
Yes. But it's also called, like, in the moment, if someone is just saying stupid things, you speak about, you engage, and he doesn't.
Engage,
like, he
or
lets
redirect.
People, exactly, redirect. That's just such a cop out, and like he's trying to like. I think
it's a cop out and it's irresponsible. Like, if you're having such a big platform and you've been you have a responsibility. I think, like, it's just as simple as that. You don't get to.
I agree.
You don't get to just not have that responsibility just by saying stuff like that. I don't agree with that.
No, absolutely not.
I tried to listen to his podcast once and I was just like, I can't do this.
I think I've seen the one where he smoked weed with Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
What do you feel about Elon Musk?
Two characters.
They sure are. Do you know what's weird though? I love Grimes. You know Grimes?
Is that his ex-partner?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one who he had that kid, the X2.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. What do you reckon they're calling that kid? Like, is she named like? Wait, what's her actual name? Let's type her name.
I think it's a boy.
Oh, it's a girl. Oh, it's a boy.
Yes. I believe he explained that it's like XAE something. He said part of it is pronounced Ash.
Ash. Yeah,
yes.
I'm just reading that now. X Ash A12. That's how you pronounce it.
They're just gonna call it Ash. Or X.
Like, then just name her Ashley.
I agree, but it's just Grimes is just so like, I love her, but she just is, I don't know, attention seeking, but like she just tries too hard to be alternative.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know much about Grimes. Do you want to?
Most people don't. Most people don't. She makes good, she's an artist. She makes good music, but she's a bit of a, I don't know, like, and she claims to be like so like anti-patriarchy, anti-establishment, anti all these things, and then she married Elon Musk. It's like, oh, that was just a lie, I guess.
Oh God. Okay, right.
Anyway, we stand Grimes. But something else I wanted to bring up with you. The green M&M situation. Have you heard? Let me send it to you. So,
what have I missed?
Basically, Mars, which owns M&M's, is doing a rebrand of the M&M's.
Oh, the green. You meant M&M. I thought you meant.
I thought I meant the artist Eminem.
I was like, what have I missed? Is he back?
No. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay, yep. So give me a recap.
Basically, Mars is doing a rebrand and they are changing the female, the green M&M and also the brown M&M. The green M&M has gone from high heels to sneakers, and the brown M&M, she had high heels and they are now just shorter high heels. Okay. And it's just like, I hate when these companies do rebrands and things like this. It is so performative and so just fake. Wait.
Back it up.
Yes.
Why are they rebranding?
Because they want to be more inclusive and they want to, well, I mean, maybe you'll have a different opinion. They said they want to be more representative of today's woman by making the green M&M not wear high heels. So it's like, so are you saying women?
They've also changed the skin tone.
And they've also changed the arm and the leg colors for all their M&Ms.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, yes.
The skin.
But it's just like, but I was reading an article about these different ad executives who were saying, why are they trying to take, like, the green M&M, like, this sounds so stupid, but she's known as being like sexy, right? It's like, why are they trying to take that from the character? It's like, are women not allowed to be sexy now? But then I understand the other side where it's like, well, it's it's like giving the impression that women have to be sexy is wrong also. But I don't, when you look at the green M&M, are you thinking this is misrepresenting what a woman is when with the high heels, I mean? Because I think she's fab. I know. That's what most people think too.
I think she looks fucking awesome. I've never seen this. And okay, that's interesting. I haven't actually heard any commentary about this or seen this anywhere.
Yeah.
Firstly, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Agreed.
Like, who was targeting Eminem being like, hey, you should rebrand to be more inclusive? And all they've done is change the skin tone back to white and put sneakers on. Can't disagree.
I agreed. It's clearly just them getting attention. It's not about being inclusive. They don't give a shit about that.
A better thing would have been to have multiple facets of the colored M&Ms. For example, keeping this old one.
Yes.
But giving her different
looks,
styles.
Yeah.
Looks. Because that is the modern woman. The modern woman is someone who fits into so many different roles so seamlessly.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Just thought.
But also, like, make a new character. Like, make a new colored M&M.
Yeah.
Like...
yeah. Actually, that. Just do something different. Don't change something.
Yes.
Especially if no one's had a problem with it.
I know. And also, it's reminding me of, again, this is happening, I think, in March. Stella McCartney designed a new dress for Minnie Mouse, but it's not a dress, it's
right.
It's a pantsuit, and it's blue.
Right.
But it's specifically only for the Minnie Mouse like impersonators at Disneyland in Paris to wear, right? And it's for like something awareness for something. I don't know. And all the comments I'm reading are like, why? Like, oh, they're trying to be woke. Oh, they're trying to be like, oh, why can't women wear dresses anymore and stuff like that? And it's like, no, but that's completely different because it's not changing her look forever. It's just for this month and it's for something. And also, they're not actually changing Minnie Mouse, like the cartoon. It's the person actually dressing up as Minnie Mouse. Like, people are so dumb. They don't read the article, they read the headline. That's the problem.
Oh God, that's all of Facebook, is that not? The amount of comment sections, I'm like, I read like the top comment, I'm like, did you read the article?
No.
Like,
they don't. And I'm guilty of that too. Of like not reading the article and just reading the headline. But it's like, I'm not gonna
time to what you want to give time to.
Exactly. But it's also like, I'm not gonna write a paragraph about the headline that I've read.
Oh,
if I haven't read the article, I'm not gonna comment, like, you know?
No. Yeah, because you haven't educated yourself.
No. That's the other thing, is that I think I've spoken about this before. I watched a TED talk when I was doing I did an online course in philosophy from Yale University. And I watched this TED talk about this guy who was like, you do have freedom of speech and you obviously are allowed to have opinions, but your opinion on some things isn't valid and it's not warranted. It's like and he said, like, if I was building a rocket, I'm not going to go ask what a florist thinks about how to build this rocket. And it's like, maybe they can have opinions on how it looks, but it's like, they don't know anything about how to build a rocket. So don't give your opinion. You're not needed in that moment, which is like harsh in a certain sense, because I feel like we all want to think that our opinions in general in life are valid and needed maybe, but they're actually not.
I 100% agree with that. Like, I think as humans, you want obviously to be heard and to be valued and all of that. But I think it's more like, I think people should think that way in their day-to-day lives with the people that they choose to surround themselves with, rather than a bunch of people on the internet. It's like, you don't know this person.
Absolutely. But it's like when people...
That was a good analogy though, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but it's like when people do all this Facebook research about vaccines and shit like that. It's like, I've done my research and this is just becoming a tirade against anti-vaxxers.
Sorry, are you a doctor?
Literally, that's what I want to say. This person that I know has...
It's like,
just...
it's so much, it's like you did research for like 30 minutes compared to this doctor who has dedicated 8 years of study and then like however many years of placement to get to where they are to now be working with vaccination. Like who am I going to listen to? I wonder. Seriously.
I agree. My God.
Oh God. This
Love
world.
Yeah. On to a lighter topic. Wait, what were you going to say?
I was just saying that everyone has something to say in this world.
They sure do. I have some would you rather questions that I think would be fun. But before we get into that, we need to like plan to do something IRL. We always say that every time. It doesn't happen.
The funniest thing that is that Jared messaged me, and I still haven't got back to him. He messaged me yesterday being like, oh, when you're at work, we should have brunch. And I'm like, in my head, I was like, yes, absolutely. And then I just didn't respond to him. But yes, we should do something.
That's the struggle. That really is, you know what is the most depressing part about like getting older and being an adult is you really have to put effort in order to see people. Doesn't that make you sad?
It was easy back in the day because we had the same classes.
I know. But even if we didn't have the same classes, like we were on campus, just around each other. But the other thing is that as you get older, you obviously realize the people that don't care about you at all because they will make no effort. But actually, on the opposite side of that, it's like I do have a lot of people that I care about that it's like, I don't know, you just struggle sometimes to have the energy to see people or talk to people.
100%. I have like, I think I had my social, like my cup.
Yes.
When I'm in situations with a lot of people, I get drained so quickly.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm always like having to just, I don't know, I value like my own time, but like I also obviously value my friendships. So you got to like find what works for you, I guess. But yeah, there are some people like friends of mine well, aren't really friends anymore because like, yeah, they just don't make an effort. Like,
absolutely.
That's fine.
But then
that's them. They're probably making an effort with someone else, but that's fine. It's the same time.
That is true. But then it's also a dichotomy of like, it's also about knowing people though, because it's like, I have people like you, like we don't talk every day, but it's like, I know it's like nothing has ever changed. But it's like, because I know you, whereas it's like, I know some other people, I'm like, I haven't spoken to them and I know that's because the friendship is, you know, drifted. It's like, it's about knowing like what your boundaries are, I think.
Yeah. Because at some point there's like an easiness where you don't need to guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Love that. Okay, these questions. We have 10. Okay. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future?
Oh, 150 years, 100%.
But
no way you're going to argue this. 10 minutes. What's 10 minutes going to do?
No. I'm going to say if it's like a repeat power or if it's just one time, does that make a difference to you?
Like you can constantly just see 10 minutes in the future. Honestly, no. I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes.
I think, you know what all these questions about, like the future and the past and all that stuff, it all depends on like if you affect what happens. If I see 10 minutes into the future and I see myself dying, it's like I need to know whether I can change that or whether that's set in stone.
Right. I'm just thinking more like 150 years in the future, like I'm obviously gonna be dead. I just want to see like how's the world? How's my grandkids?
Okay. So you're just like, it's not about you, it's about the world.
Well, it's not about me. Yeah.
Okay, love that. Okay. Would you rather have telekinesis, where you can move things with your mind, or telepathy, where you can read minds? That's a hard one.
Obviously, like, you want to know what someone's thinking, but do you really want to know what someone's thinking?
If you can turn it on and off, that would be ideal.
Yeah, like, I don't want to be getting an influx of thoughts constantly.
No.
Like, you'd have to, like, be able to, like, tune in.
Absolutely.
Be like, what are you thinking about right now?
But also telekinesis is like, oh, I really want to go to the fridge, but I can't get off the couch. So you just...
Is that's 11's powers in Stranger Things, isn't it?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I think telekinesis, because I think reading someone's mind is a very personal thing.
You could use it for personal gain.
Yeah, but am I that kind of person?
No. Maybe if you had those powers, you would be.
Damn.
I'm going to say telekinesis.
If only I could read someone's mind and I could read what salary they're going to offer me.
Oh, we're getting a little too real. Okay. Would you rather be forced to sing along or dance to every single song you hear?
Dance.
Dance. Yeah.
Dance. Oh,
Singing
I sound
is
like a dying whale when I sing.
Me too, but also like, yeah, dancing is silent. You know, there's no
and
it's
noise. Got many facets. Like, you could just do a 2-step, or you could do a whole routine.
Or you could just be like,
yeah, you could not even move.
Literally. Okay. Would you rather find, I already know what your answer is going to be, but would you rather find true love today or win the lottery next year? I'm going to say the lottery.
Oh, win the lottery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you would say true love.
Am I not in a loving relationship right now?
I know, but I'm saying if you weren't. That's
kind of awkward, though. If I'm true love today and I'm like, oh, see you, Jacob. This is the guy I'm meant to be with. No, 100%
if you were
lottery.
single. Yeah.
100% lottery.
I agree.
I think because... I've thought about this, though. Like, if I win the lottery, I think I would
realistically, what would you do with the money? I always think about this. Always.
Okay. Like, realistically.
Yeah.
There's that episode of Friends where they all like go and buy the lotto tickets.
Yeah.
And like Ross is like, what did he say? He's like, put it in the bank. And they were all like, oh, put it in the bank. Okay, I would. How much are we talking? Give me some.
I'm gonna say $100 million.
Oh, okay. That is a lot to handle. Okay. Firstly, I would get a good accountant.
That's my number one thing too. Absolutely.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
I get a good accountant because you don't want to be taxed.
No.
And you want, your money nice and secure and, all of that jazz. I'd buy several investment properties.
Me too. Yep.
One that I obviously will live in, obviously pay them outright as well. But like, I wouldn't spend outside of my means, I'd get one 7 million.
Okay. Sure.
You're not going to go find a property for like 45 million and buy that. That's almost half.
No,
like, that's
no.
You got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I would do is I would invest in some businesses that I believe in. Just for some like long-term income streaming type things.
I think that's really the key to having a large sum of money, is that you have to ensure that it's,
because you want your grandkids to be like, oh, I come from old money, Because
I love that you're always thinking about your grandkids. That's so like not a thought in my mind for me. But
oh no, I literally like whenever I like buy something cute, I'm like, I'm gonna keep this for my daughter because she's gonna love me later.
Oh, okay. Actually, I do that too. Did you know that I'm a little bit of a hoarder?
I have known this about you.
Okay. Yeah, because Georgie is So I live upstairs in Georgie's old room, and Georgie is moving into my old room downstairs, right? So I'm like moving all of my stuff out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally, like, I have stuff from, like, I have all my baby stuff. I have, like, I think I have books from every single year that I've been in primary school and high school. I have birthday cards ranging back to 1 year old. I have all my birthday cards. And it's like, why do I have that? But I can't throw it out.
Yeah, no, I'm quite sentimental, so I struggle with stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
I do keep a lot of things. Like, yeah, I have all my birthday cards too. So yeah, I think we diversify all of the income streams so that you're still earning money, so you're making more constantly. Invest in things that are going to give you good returns. Then I would obviously give a sizable amount to my family. I would set mum up with like a nice house, nice car.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Same with my sister. I would give a lot of it to charities, but I would, if I'd come into that amount of money, I would want to not just donate it. I'd want to be like involved in the process to see where it goes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I also think, though, if I won the lottery, when it comes to family, I think you have to give them enough so that they don't have to ask you for money ever again. Like, I don't want people coming to me like every year, like, oh, can I have $100,000? No, I'm just going to give you a lump sum, period. If you spend it all, not my problem.
I think also another thing would be is to get a really good lawyer to draw up some nice little trusts and family trusts, and you got to put your will in order.
Absolutely, you sure do.
That thing has to be airtight, so you don't got some random second cousin coming in being like, hey, I got a claim on this.
Absolutely.
No way.
But I think realistically, do you think that you would like blow some of it on stupid stuff? Because when I think about this, I really don't think that I would. Actually.
What's stupid though?
Well, like, I don't know, like
we're talking like a yacht?
No, because like you could live on a yacht. I mean more like you like are going to the club and you like buy everyone a drink. I don't know.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing. If I came into that amount of money through a lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Oh, absolutely. You can't.
There is just no way.
But you know what I wonder about the lottery though is that when people win, do they announce themselves that they won? Like you know how you see on the news, or do like the lottery announce that person won?
I think it's the lottery.
I hate that. I don't want people
to know. Like, because
on
the news it's like a 55-year-old man from Richmond, and it's like, why have you done that? Now people are going to be looking out for this 55-year-old man in Richmond.
That is true. You got to just dig a hole and bury it.
I just would not tell anyone because I wouldn't want anyone to start scrounging and treating me differently.
Absolutely not. I would tell you. You don't have to tell me, but I would tell you.
But like, I think obviously you tell your close friends who like, you know that nothing's going to change and whatever.
I wouldn't tell some of them.
Ooh, actually.
I think you have to keep it to a minimum.
A minimum amount of friends.
Yes.
But then your friends are going to be like, wait, how have you gone and bought like 3 houses?
Yeah, that
See, again, true. That you don't really need to publicize either.
No. But I mean, if your friends, they're going to know. Like,
well, I'll just live in one and then buy the other 2.
What you do is you buy a really small, like average house that you live in and you have people over. And then when they leave, you go back to your mansion.
Go back to the mansion. Go back to the $10 million mansion.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next question. Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or be in a coma for a decade? I read this one the other day and I really had to think about it. because jail, I mean, I'm very like anti-jail. I think jail is really kind of, I don't know. I mean, obviously not
What do you
for
mean anti-jail?
like
Obviously.
I think the prison system, maybe not in Australia, maybe more in America where it's like private, where like people are profiting off of people going to prison. I don't like that. That's what I don't like about it. And it's obviously, you know, people of color going to jail over a gram of weed, where all these people make multi-million dollars off of marijuana sales. It's things like that that really aggravate me.
Yeah.
But anyway, with prison, it's like it does tarnish your reputation, unfortunately.
Yes. I think it's hard to, I think you're at a very serious disadvantage, and it shouldn't be this way.
Yeah, it shouldn't at all.
When you do come out of prison, it is hard to make a life for yourself. And that's why you see so many of them ending back up in prison, because
The recidivism
it is
rate,
so hard for them to survive. So,
but a coma for 10 years.
this is such a bad question. in the sense that it's hard.
It is hard. Honestly, though, I think I would have to say jail.
I think I'd choose coma.
Really?
I'm such a princess. There's no way I'd handle jail. Jail for 5 years would feel like 10 years for me.
That is also true. But it's just like, see, I'm too like nosy and like I need to know things. Imagine like missing 10 years. I'm at the stuff you'd have to catch up on.
Maybe you'd wake up and you'd be like, I'm a new person now. I don't need to know anything.
Potentially. Okay. Would you rather be chronic? Oh, okay. I know what you're gonna. Oh, actually, no, I don't. Would you rather be chronically underdressed or overdressed?
Oh,
I'm gonna say for you.
overdressed.
Huh?
Overdressed.
Yeah, I was gonna say overdressed for you.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
I think you would say, I don't know, underdressed? Overdressed.
I think overdressed.
Yeah, surely. Overdressed is always the answer, surely.
Oh, yeah. You can't be showing up to a funeral in, you know, your pajamas.
You can't go to a wedding in jeans.
Well, it depends where you are. If you're in the country, I'm sure my family has had weddings where you show up in thongs. I think they literally have.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah, I think overdressing, because I think that's like, I feel more uncomfortable when I'm somewhere and I'm underdressed, for sure. It's happened before. I've showed up to
like
places
where?
and I just, like parties and stuff, and I've just like completely like kind of missed the vibe, I guess. And I'd like come in jeans and like everyone's in like dresses and heels, and I'm like, oh,
that is the struggle.
Like you just feel awkward because you're like, I look so casual.
Yeah, see, I've been with groups of people like going to a club where the vibe is like fancy and no one was dressed fancy, and it like, but I was, you know, I know these things. And they weren't, and like I was like, oh, that sucks for them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad when I'm looking good.
Sure. Okay, next. Would you rather have everyone you know be able to read your thoughts, or for everyone you know to have access to your internet history? Okay, can I just say something? This is going to sound so psychotic. I sometimes, when I'm in public and I'm like not thinking about bad things, but I'm just like thinking about something, I always like, if I'm like on a train and someone's sitting across from me, I always think, what if that person just read my thoughts and they heard what I was just thinking? But I do this all the time. Is that weird?
No.
Okay.
Okay, what was the question? If someone can read your thoughts, or?
Have access to your internet history.
Probably internet history.
So your thoughts are darker than your internet history. Mine are too. But I think that's for everyone, right?
I think, yeah. Can I give my internet history a little clean?
No, obviously not.
No, I would still go internet history because like thoughts are just like that's too personal. If I'm not saying it out loud, why are you in there? Why are you hearing them?
Absolutely agreed. Okay. Would you rather lose your sight or lose your memories? Sight, obviously.
I'm already halfway there with the sight thing.
Okay, that's easy then. Okay. Would you rather have universal respect or universal... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Would you rather have universal respect from people or universal power, but it's like behind the scenes?
Ooh. What do you reckon?
Well, that is hard because I feel like everyone respecting you is power in itself. But actually, maybe it's not like...
Because if people respect you, then they value your opinion.
That is true, but it's like, I don't really know if that leads to power, because it's like, who is someone that you like think that you respect, but you feel maybe is not as powerful? Because I'm thinking of like Obama, but he has power because he is respected. So it's like I'm trying to think of people who like are respected, but they don't have like the respect doesn't really equate to anything. But
Well, that's like a celebrity.
Well,
you can respect
yeah,
a celebrity and what they
yeah,
stand for and their work, but they don't really have any power.
that's true. Jennifer Lawrence,
For example.
but then also I wouldn't say that she has no power, but it's like she doesn't. Maybe she's in the Illuminati.
Power in what though? With what?
I'm thinking like politically, you pull some strings, you can get some money. I don't know.
I don't know. Celebrities these days, they have money and feet in every single door. So
I'm going to say respect.
I think I'm going to say respect too.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life? Oh, that's hard.
Air conditioning and heating.
Same. You can't live without the internet now. It's unfortunate, but it's
currently broken, so I've been living without it.
Oh my god! But luckily, it's kind of cool now.
It's cooled off now. The aircon's working like downstairs in the living room and stuff. It's just in the bedrooms. So like nighttime's been a bit awful.
Right.
And I never use the heater, so definitely aircon and heater.
Okay. Next, this is our last one. Would you rather be an extra in an Oscar-winning movie or the lead in a box office bomb? Obviously, an extra in the Oscar-winning movie, right? Actually,
no, you want to be the lead.
But
you can still capitalize and market and shit. Box office bombs doesn't equate to.
That is actually true. A lot of cults, classic movies, box office bombs. But it's like, yeah, actually, that's true, because also there are millions of people, extras in Oscar-winning movies who are, you don't know who they are.
You wouldn't even like take note of them.
Not at all. Not at all. To end on, what did you do for New Year's Eve?
What did I do for New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
I went to a party. Actually, I was gonna do two things. We were gonna go, so we did go to Jacob's sister's place. She was hosting a little New Year's Eve thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice. They got like those LED bulbs put
Oh,
into their lamps, so they were just constantly just changing color in the room.
I
It
love
was just like
that.
it created a nice little vibe and atmosphere. We were gonna go to that, and then we were gonna go see our friends because our friends, one of our friends has a spare house in Kew because their family bought a farm, which was meant to be like their retirement farm, and they were going to work on it over the years and then end up there eventually. But they love it so much that they've just been there. So she has this spare house in Kew, so we're always just there. So we were going to go there, and she's got like a good view of the fireworks, so that's what we're going to do. But we were having a good time at Jacob's sister's place that we just invited all of them to come over.
Oh,
We just like merged it. I got very drunk.
did you?
Yeah, it was not good. The next day,
Oh,
I'm getting old. I really felt it. Like it took me 2 days to recover.
oh my God.
I was just tired, like fatigued.
Yeah, that is the struggle. It was so hot though.
I think that's why. I think that's one of the reasons why I
Yeah.
struggled.
Like I had people over and it was the same group of people that I had last New Year's Eve, but I have to say last New Year's Eve was so much better. Like this one, and also because I live next to the forest, the amount of rats and bugs I have never seen. It was literally the Amazon. Like the bugs were psychotic everywhere. Like just you could push your hand through the air like that, hand covered in bugs. I've never seen anything like it, and I've lived here for in this house for like 2 years. Never seen anything like it. Like
The heat.
I think they were just like, I don't know, trying to get somewhere cool, and it's like, you know, we're all like trying to hang out outside and drink, and just bugs in everyone's drinks, and just like,
Oh, God.
I don't know. And it just like, I didn't really drink. I bought so much alcohol. I drank probably a quarter of it. Like I just was so hot. So it was fine.
Yeah. Doesn't sound fine. Is this your normal friendship group?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was okay, but it was just the heat. Can't stand the heat.
100%. I think it was the heat. I think it was why I was like struggling to like feel fine.
Yeah. My God.
Because you're like dehydrated and it's hot. You're like dehydrated from the alcohol.
Oh.
And then you're hot. Like it's not a good combo.
It's a big no.
We've had a very hot summer.
We have.
Have you noticed? It's been really hot. It's been 30 like consistently. That's like so not Melbourne.
Yeah, but also it's like been, I've noticed like that it's been like later in the day. I feel like sometimes it's normally like hot, like, and it's also been extremely hot overnight, which I hate. Absolutely hate.
But I think that's something that we haven't had before. Like I think like the sustained heat is something that we haven't, because it normally cools off, and like it has been in the last couple of days. Like it's been hot with cooling off, but there was like a portion there like just over Christmas and then a couple of weeks after the New Year where it was just consistently 30 degrees.
Yeah. Well, that's climate change. What a depressing way to end the episode.
Did you watch the tennis?
I did, yeah.
Did you see that whole like Medvedev thing?
I did.
Did you see his press conference at the end?
No, what did he say?
It's actually really depressing.
Oh.
Did you find the Aussie crowds really awful this time?
Absolutely awful. I had to like stop watching. I can't, this is why I don't like sport. The people watching, I can't stand them.
Like previously, I have like Melbourne crowds are passionate but they've always been respectful. The one thing I hate, and it's the same thing that Medvedev was pissed off about, was the yelling and the booing between first and second serve.
I can't stand it.
I cannot stand it. Anyway, at this press conference, It was so sad. Go and watch it after. But
Why?
he basically was like, at the start of the press conference, he was like, guys, I want to tell you a story about a small kid who had a dream. And he started telling a story about himself dreaming to become this tennis player. And he ended by saying, today, during that match, my dream died. And he was like, from now on, I'm going to, you know, play to sustain my family and earn a living. But it's not because I dreamt for it. Like, it was just awful. Like, he was that distraught by the crowds. And he did bring it up. He was like, well, it's he thinks it's like a Russian, because he's Russian.
Mm.
And he was being booed constantly. And what he was trying to say was, no matter how well he plays, wherever he ranks, whatever he wins, he's always going to be seen as a Russian first. Like, that's kind of what he was. It was just awful.
Do you think that's true though?
Like, I have seen commentary about how people like, oh, you know, like, if you want to be respected, then you have to give respect. And Medvedev is known to have a short temper, but he even said that he's apologized for the short temper. He apologized to the umpire, you know, that incident that happened.
Yeah.
But he's working on it. Like, he's even said, like, you know, I've got a sports psychologist, like, I'm really working on it. That whole match with Nick Kyrgios, he was like this, deadpan, did not react. Like, that takes guts to not even react and like tell people to shut up.
See, this is why I hate sport. Just to be honest. Maybe it's just Australian sport. I hate Nick Kyrgios. Absolutely cannot stand him. And I just don't like the Australian, like, I don't know, I don't want to say bogan, but maybe that, like, the booing and the, like, the showmanship bullshit. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Nick Kyrgios either. And to be honest, I think that match against Kyrgios and Medvedev, that's the one that kind of started the whole, just for this time around especially, just the bad behavior from the crowds, I feel like stemmed from that match and stemmed from Kyrgios egging them on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just my theory, because I did watch a lot of the matches, but it was just awful. And he was treated so badly.
But also, I just feel like he just shouldn't play in Australia then.
But is that the answer though? Like, Australia's it's a Grand Slam.
I know, but it's like, I think that I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. I think the Australian general public are not good people in general.
Look, Nick Kyrgios,
do you know what I mean?
Nick Kyrgios said, you know, it's time for the sport to become a little bit more exciting and blah 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 blah. He's like,
I throw up. That makes me so.
I understand it's a gentleman's game, but it's like, if you understand it's a gentleman's game, why are you trying to change it? It is a gentleman's game.
Yeah.
You have to respect. The audience are coming to watch two athletes. If you're respecting Rafa at the other end, why do you think Rafa's in a fifth set? It's because Medvedev's on the other side.
That
you know,
is very,
like, you
very
can't
true.
Respect one and not respect the other. Rafa's only at the fifth set because he lost the first two.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just like, just comprehend that. There's competition.
But people can't comprehend that because they're idiots.
Like,
no, but so I mean, when I say that he shouldn't play in Australia, I mean, like, for him psychologically. Because
because it's got to affect you. Like, he's had 2 weeks with not one person on his side.
That's horrible.
Like, it's horrible. It's just horrible.
Again, another depressing way to end the show. Sruti, can people follow you anywhere? Do you want them to follow you? No? Okay.
No.
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at I think it's official Charlie Wright. I changed it. You can follow this show on Instagram at Always Right Podcast. You can follow me on Twitch at chaz._key. No, not dot. Chaz_key. What are you laughing
Just put it
at?
in the description. What are you doing?
do, but you have to plug yourself, right? Okay. Thank you for joining me, Sruti. Until next time, bye.
Bye, guys.